祖国完全统一的历史任务一定要实现，也一定能够实现。
President Xi Jinping has said reunification with Taiwan must be fulfilled.
China has carried out what it says is a mock air blockade of Taiwan using jets carrying live ammunition.
China sees the self-ruled island as part of its territory and insists it should be unified with the mainland.
Let's talk about Taiwan. Beijing has long considered the self-governed island Taiwan as part of China and has threatened to unify with it even by the means of force. But over the past year, Beijing has been stepping up military pressure on the island while stopping short of an outright invasion. China has been sending ships and planes to encircle Taiwan and mounting more sophisticated military drills simulating a blockade of the island. In September last year, Taiwan's defense ministry counted a record number of Chinese fighter planes, 103 to be exact, flying in the airspace around Taiwan in just a single day. If China uses military force against Taiwan or another target in the Western Pacific, the result could be a war with the United States, a fight between two nuclear-armed superpowers brawling for hegemony in that region and the wider world. If China attacked amid the ongoing wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, the world will be consumed by interlocking conflicts across Eurasia key regions, a global conflagration unlike anything since World War II. Chinese President Xi Jinping has spoken with urgency about the country's national rejuvenation plan, which entails reunification with Taiwan. The United States, however, and some of its allies are promising an unwavering response to any Chinese military escalation, without saying exactly what that entails. Taiwan, however, says it seeks peace, but will defend itself from attacks if necessary. The US and Chinese diplomats have been meeting in a round of discussions across the world, but US intelligence suggests that China might act in Taiwan by 2027. For the last 50-plus years, there has been a disagreement about the status of Taiwan. The island has its own constitution, democratically elected leaders, and about 300,000 active soldiers in its armed forces. During the Chinese Civil War, the ROC's government went into exile in the island, but wanted to reoccupy the mainland once the Civil War was over. It held China's seat on the United Nations Security Council and was recognized by very many Western governments as the only legitimate Chinese government. But by the 1970s, some countries began to argue that the Taipei government could no longer be considered a genuine representative of the people living in mainland China. And in 1971, the United Nations switched diplomatic recognition to Beijing and abandoned the island of Taiwan. The United States maintains official ties with Beijing and recognizes it as the only legitimate Chinese government under its One China policy, but it also remains Taiwan's most significant international partner. Washington is bound by law to provide Taiwan with defensive weapons, and the US President Joe Biden has said that the US will defend Taiwan militarily, breaking with a stance known as strategic ambiguity. The results of the 2024 US elections will shape the course of US-China relations, and no matter who walks away the winner, will have an inedible impact on the delicate relationship between the two superpowers and Taiwan.